Hey, good morning, everyone. Clint with Break Down Your Barriers here. And we're going to go with kind of a different route with these next few vlogs. So today's topic is the depression war. And I first want to disclose I'm not a counselor. I've studied psychology. Once upon a time, I wanted to be a psychologist, but I'm not a certified psychologist. I'm not a certified counselor. So what I'm talking to you about from real life experience. Ever since I was young, I battled with depression and anxiety. As far back as I can remember, I was always scared. I always felt down. I felt just always at odds with myself. This progressively got worse as I got into my adolescent years, to the point where I had no self-confidence. I didn't believe anybody liked me. I didn't like myself. And, it was hard. It was really hard. I remember times that, like in high school, my freshman year, I was asking my friends all the time, hey, did I do something wrong? Well, do you really like me? Or, just all these, because I was always thinking about so many negative things, that I wasn't good enough, that how can anyone like me because I'm weird, I'm strange, I'm different. And it just kept getting worse and worse and worse over the years. And it got so bad at times that I started engaging in self-mutilation, to try to ease the anxiety and depression, all the way up to the point where I started, I had suicide attempts, overdosing on medication, trying to drink myself to death, holding a gun to my head, you name it. There's a gamut of things. And, I spent time in mental hospitals. I, seen so many doctors. And the thing that I think that people need to understand, first and foremost, is, number one, just because you battle with depression does not make you crazy, doesn't make you different. It's just sometimes how the brain's hardwired, and don't let yourself, along with other people, make you feel that, you're wrong for being depressed, or that happiness is always a state of mind, because I'm going to tell you right now, it's not always the case. I've battled depression for so many years that I can sit here and honestly tell you that it wasn't that I chose to be depressed. I don't want to be depressed. I never did want to be depressed. It was, my mind was just constantly at war. And I ostracized myself because I, for the longest time, thought, oh, there's something wrong with my head. And who else could be feeling like this? And so on and so forth. And every doctor I went to, it was, oh, well, let's look at your life and let's look at this and this and that. And it was like you never got down to the core, you know what I mean? And a lot of times you get with these doctors and they're like, oh, here, take this pill and do this and do that. And you're just like, dude, it's just not working. And really it's sad, because I don't think that a lot of people feel that there is help out there for depression. There's, oh, take all these pills, do this, do that. I've taken them. And maybe I wasn't depressed, but I was a mindless zombie. I remember when I first got diagnosed, and I was misdiagnosed. I was diagnosed bipolar at 16 years old. And I was put on 1,500 milligrams of Depakote. I was a walking zombie. Yeah, I wasn't depressed because I couldn't even feel anything. I didn't feel happiness. I didn't feel joy. I didn't feel jack. I was the mindless zombie. And it didn't fix anything. Because the second I got off my medication, it's the second I went into a whirlwind. And literally within, I think it was probably like 4 months of getting off my medication, I attempted suicide again. Depression is a serious thing, but I think people would be very surprised to find out how many people actually struggle with depression. In this world today, it's rampant. I mean, if you look at between the pandemic, between just life as a whole, I mean, your adolescent years, even your adult years, everything is constantly, you're being bombarded. And it wears you out and it makes you depressed. I still battle it to this day. I still battle depression. I don't have a secret remedy to help fix depression or make it go away, because here's the thing. I don't know if it ever truly goes away. And that's just being honest. But I do know that there are tactics that you can use to help battle your depressive mind. One of those things is being able to confide in somebody who will listen and offer comfort. I didn't say offer a solution, offer comfort. Because every person's battle with depression is different. So there's not a one fix all for it. For me, when I'm depressed, I read, I meditate, I'll pull my wife aside and I'll talk to her and I'll just tell her how I'm feeling. Even something as stupid sometimes as watching a kid's movie, just to help lighten the mood. For all of you that are suffering from depression, I want you to know that you're not alone. And there's nothing wrong with you. And that's the biggest thing to take away from this. There's nothing wrong with you. We have to develop ways to cope with depression. Because here's the thing. Depression is not permanent. It comes in waves and goes. So when you hit that depressive wave, take action immediately. Start looking for means, and by that I mean positive means, to battle your depression. Sometimes that's medication. Great. If it's medication, awesome. Sometimes it's as simple as getting yourself out of a negative situation and surrounding yourself with positive people. People that you enjoy being around. Or watching a movie or reading a book. Anything that helps get your mind off of whatever it is that's causing that depression is paramount. The other thing to realize, and I'll go into this more later on, is don't look for a permanent fix. And by that I mean don't do something drastic. Yes, depression sucks. Yes, it comes in waves and it is a constant battle. But don't try to end it. Don't look to self-mutilation. Don't look to suicide. They're not the answer. Been there, done that. It doesn't do anything. I mean, there's a reason I have dark tattoos on my wrists and everything else. That's hiding scars. And I'm not saying that any of this because I'm worried about, oh, it's selfish, and oh, think of all the people you're going to hurt. I'm talking about it for you. Depression will fade. It's a temporary thing. But trying to fix it with a permanent action, you're robbing yourself of the joy of life. And I know when you're depressed, you're not seeing that joy. But remember, it is only temporary. You will come out of it. As I continue these talks, one of the things, if you guys have questions, if there's things you'd like to know about my journey through battling depression and everything else, please drop a line on this video. I have an email, whatever you need. Find a means to reach out. I'm always here to talk. So I'm going to leave you with this thought today. If you're battling depression right now, what can you do to overcome it? And I know that's a question you probably already asked. to start looking for the ways to get over it in that moment, and start developing tactics so when you start noticing it, you can combat it. Thank you guys for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day.